how we wait for a few minutes. I apologize for my video not working. There's some issue with my camera. So Assalamu alaikum everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're joining from. And you have joined the APPNA MERIT Subcommittee webinars, and we've been doing these webinars every 2 weeks on Saturdays, and you're joining one of our sessions. So APPNA, as you already know, is the Association of Pakistani Physicians of North America. And this is the MERIT subcommittee, which is the Medical Education, Research, International Training, and Transfer Technology subcommittee. And under this subcommittee, we've been doing these webinars to show what is the landscape of clinical research in Pakistan and how we can learn from expertise in both Pakistan and here in North America, as well as try to come up with collaborative initiatives based on these information. So my name is Sarfraz Hasni. I am a physician scientist and a rheumatologist at the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. And I'm the moderator for this session. And I'm joined by the panelist, Dr. Syed Uzair Ghani, who's the mind behind all of this and the force behind all of these webinars and these efforts. And then also Dr. Mohammad Akhtar Hamid is one of our panelists. And Dr. Sarwat Hussain and Dr. Umar Hayat have also joined. I think Dr. Jabin Fayaz will also going to join, and perhaps she will join in a minute or so. These webinars are not possible without the technical team and the efforts, Waleed and his team, who have been making sure that these webinars are run smoothly without any technical glitches. And after the webinars, these are available on YouTube. So you can either click on the APPNA website, or you can also go to the YouTube channel to watch this webinar or any of those in the past. In addition to that, we have also created a digital library and the WhatsApp group you can join. We will leave the link in the chat box for everyone to benefit from these wonderful resources. So with this brief sort of background, I would like to welcome Dr. FAROOQ AZAM RATHORE, who is the professor and consultant in rehab medicine and pain specialist at the Armed Forces Institute of Rehab Medicine in Rawalpindi, Pakistan. He has over 250 publications and 4,300 citations. He's a renowned expert in his field and has been an invited plenary speaker in multiple national and international conferences, chairing and co-chairing scientific sessions. And he's a recipient of numerous awards, travel grants, and scholarships. And he's on the editorial board of several international biomedical journals and national representative of Pakistan for the International Society of Pakistan of Physical Medicine and Rehab, and the Asia Oceania Society of the Physical Medicine and Rehab. So he's a very long introduction, and of course, I can go on and on, but today he's going to talk about artificial intelligence for enhanced research productivity and writing efficiency. So with that, again, thank you so much, Dr. FAROOQ, for taking time out of your busy schedule. And we are all eagerly looking forward to hear from you about the artificial intelligence and its use in research and writing efficiency. So please take it away. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Just first of all, can you please confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, we can, but it's in the presenter's view, so you can do the presentation view.
Sorry, just give me a second. Let me sort of like. So is it in the presenter view now?
Yes. That's all. This is
okay. So again, thank you very much for the invitation. So usually, whether individuals, institutions, or even nations, so you usually had, a past, a present, and future. But we are living in very rapidly changing times, and it's all because of technology. And thanks to this AI tool, people say that the world has almost changed. And some say that the future is already here. And now what we used to do in days worth of academic work is being done in minutes to hours, all thanks to these artificial intelligence tools. And it's not something that is being done by a specific segment of the society or some specific professionals from a particular field or subject. Professionals, researchers, and students around the globe in different specialties, including healthcare, are actively using and integrating artificial intelligence tool in their daily professional lives. I'll give you a quick example. So Nature, a well-renowned journal, they published a survey of around 1,600 researchers around the globe back in September 2023. And these are the major important results that give you and me a lot of food of thought that where the world is moving and what we need to do. Around 1/3 of them an year ago said that they had used generative AI tools to help them write manuscript, to publish better and to publish more. Around 15% of them said that they had used them to help write grant application. I personally feel that writing a grant application is the next step that you can take while you write a research article. Because writing a research article, I mean, it's something really good and great, but writing a grant application in which you apply for funding, which is much more competitive than writing a research article, these tools can actually help you write a good grant application. And it is a window of opportunity for people like us based in developing country like Pakistan, where usually we do not get these kind of opportunities and these kind of guidance. And this was very interesting. And it actually transcends research and writing. It actually helps people like you and me who are in the clinical care. And usually whatever we read and write is in English language. But the people we treat, the patient we see, majority of them are not very well versed with English language. So around more than half of the respondents in that survey of 1,600 people said that a major benefit of these generative AI tools was its ability to edit and translate writing for researcher whose first language is not English. And I think it's a game changer for most of us. So we need to understand when it comes to the debate about integration of artificial intelligence tools in research, writing, and other professional services, change is inevitable, growth is optional. This is something that is here, it's going to stay and evolve. It all depends on you whether you want to become a part of that change and grow or not. So today we are going to talk about how artificial intelligence tools can be used intelligently to enhance research productivity and your writing skills, specifically if you are based in a developing country like Pakistan. Before I start off, a couple of disclaimers. I need to clarify my position. Number one, it is all based on my own personal experiences, views, and interaction with different AI tools that actually started formally in November 2022 when ChatGPT was launched for public use. It's impossible for me to cover all aspects and all tools in a 45-minute session. So I'm only going to focus on the most important things. Obviously, I'm going to share certain tools. Some of them are free to use. Some have a freemium version and some have a premium subscription version. You need to understand if I share a particular tool, that is not an endorsement. It is possible that many more new and better tools are available, which I have not experimented with. If you know them, please share that with us as well. And number three, it's not a hands-on training session. It's not possible for me to conduct a live session in these 45 minutes. But it's not also a lecture. It is an information exchange session in which I'm going to share my experience. Then our panelists are going to share theirs. And I'm going to ask my participant to interact with me as well. So please participate actively. My journey of research and writing primarily started from Pakistan more than 20 years ago. And like most of you, honestly, I did not get any institutional support or any support that could actually enhance my understanding. But Alhamdulillah, because of collaboration and mostly global collaboration from people based in Canada and USA, I was able to write something. And then, my journey went on and on. I have written multiple publications with multiple authors around the globe. So I have a pretty good idea of how things work in a well-developed part of the world and how things work in a less developed part of the world where you don't have a good infrastructure for research, you don't have ethical support, and you don't get much funding. So I have seen the best of both worlds, and I can say some things with confidence, which I'm going to do. This is going to be a bilingual presentation. I know it's a global presentation, but I work in Pakistan. I'm based in Pakistan. As they say, दिल की कुछ बातें होती हैं जो अपनी जुबान में अदा होती हैं और वो किसी और जुबान में अदा हो नहीं पाती. So this is going to be a bilingual presentation. But if you have difficulty understanding certain terminologies, please let me know and I'll switch over to English. Before we talk of these AI tools, you need to understand that AI is not something new. Just because ChatGPT was launched in November 22, one day we woke up and we thought, wow, this is ChatGPT, it can create magic with articles. We need to understand AI was an integral part of our personal life much before that. If you talk of like Google Maps, you talk of Gmail, you talk of social media, your feed, why the feed of every family member is different from each other, because everyone has a different way of interacting with these social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, facial recognition to your cell phone. How does in the world it happens that out of 8 billion people, your mobile phone is going to open up only when it sees and recognizes your face? What's happening in the background? It's an AI algorithm working in the background. So it was all there even before this chat GPT was launched. Online shopping, Daraz, Alibaba, Amazon, your Netflix, your YouTube, the recommendation, it's all based on an artificial intelligence algorithms that have been deeply ingrained in our personal lives. So it's not something new, and we need to understand that it is in our domain to explore these tools for our professional needs. We should be doing that. And it was November 2022 when the world changed. We all woke up in the morning and ChatGPT version 3 was launched for public use. Within 1 month, 100 million users around the globe, they actively used this tool. And it was probably the highest uptake of any new tool in the world history. And as Bloomberg once said, the year ChatGPT changed almost everything. So anyone who was actually interested in research, writing, or simply exploring something new, he or she had explored ChatGPT within the next few months. And probably that was the reason that ChatGPT was also featured on the cover of the Time magazine, right? So once we talk of research writing, so can you guys write in the chat box, what are the important components of writing a manuscript? Simply write it down. Important components, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the chat box. Okay, abstract result. Oh, no. I mean, if you want to write an article, what would be the first step? What would be the first step before intro, result, and abstract? Introduction, discussion, analysis. Even before that, what is the first thing that you do? Problem statement, good. Literature review, good. Writing a title, okay. Brainstorming, thank you, Zakia. Thank you very much. So if you talk of the whole paradigm of writing a research article, probably the important components are probably number one, you have to brainstorm the research idea and generate and create a good research question on the basis of which you are going to create the whole paradigm of your research. Then you obviously you have to do some literature research. You have to read article. You have to extract data, and you have to see what has been done and what needs to be done, right? Then obviously you create questionnaires, data collection tools. Then you start with the data collection itself. You do a data analysis, and then comes the most sort of like overwhelming part for a non-English speaker: how to write in a language that is acceptable to international journals, which means a excellent quality language, grammar, syntax, appropriate referencing, citation, and formatting as per the instruction to author of the journal. And obviously the last is selection of the journal. You need to understand that nowadays artificial intelligence can help in each step of writing and publishing a scientific manuscript as per these 7 or 8 steps. It's a great help, right? But you need to understand that once it comes to AI tools and research and writing, there are two extremes. There are people who are using it judiciously, ethically, but there are two extremes. One extreme is of youngsters, the novice, the undergrad, people who don't have understanding of research, and suddenly they have access to this magical tool, which can create a large amount of text on a single prompt, right? So I honestly speaking, and I know people, youngsters who are using ChatGPT and other LLM in this manner. Honestly speaking, if you use it like this, you simply appear as a smart monkey and nothing more than that. It's unethical, it's going to land you in trouble, and it is not the appropriate way to integrate AI in your research cycle. But at the other end, there are people, and by people I mean mostly and usually people of probably of my age and senior, who are not very comfortable with the technology or with the change that is happening at such a fast pace. They cannot keep up, and I call them digital dinosaurs. I'm not saying this out of disrespect. I'm simply saying there are people who refuse to move forward when the world starts moving, and they don't realize the world is not going to stop for them, right? You have to catch up. And this is not something very new. in 60s when calculators were introduced in the USA, right? Leading in science and technology for the last 90 years. There were teachers who went on the roads to say that no, we would not allow the use of calculator in high school because they thought it's going to negatively affect the calculation ability and maths education of these students. But we can see in the last 60 years, ever since calculators were introduced, maths, science, chemistry, and physics have developed leaps and bounds. So this happens everywhere. And even in 2024, there are people who are actually warning the faculty that AI is not your friend. We need to sort of go for a middle way between these two extremes in which you totally rely on AI and you simply worship whatever it produces without even analyzing that whether it is right or wrong. And on the other end, you are very reluctant to integrate this technology in your education, research, and writing cycle. Don't do that. Stay in between. I'll take a quick break here and I'll go and do a Mentimeter. So can you guys go online and let me do this Mentimeter. Just give me a second. Okay, so this is a Mentimeter poll. Can I request you all to please go online on mentimeter.com and respond to this poll, please? You should enter this code 85238797 and then sort of like answer the question. The first question is, what are the two most important challenges you face during research? Menti.com. It's menti.com, www.menti.com. This is the link. And the code is 85238797. Two most important challenges you face during research. Data collection, data analysis. Okay. Anyone else? There might be many. Lack of mentorship. Fantastic. Yeah. Finding a good research topic. Data analysis. Okay. Finding the research gap. Research question. Publication. Okay. Anything else? Technical difficulty and no one confirm. Okay. Research gap. Good references. Research gap. Okay. Boring structure. Okay, so statistical analysis, mentorship, technical challenges, proper tools. Okay, moving forward. Please rate the quality of support you received for research and writing either in the past or now. Excellent, average, poor, or I wish I had received any support at all. Okay. Anyone with an excellent research support who's based in Pakistan? So mostly it's either, nice. Thank you very much. So mostly, as you can see, I mean, most of the research support that our colleagues here received, the rate is at average or maybe poor, and some wish that they had received any support at all. Moving forward, have you explored the use of AI for research and writing? It's great to know that around half of you have already explored that. Okay. Some have not, and some are planning. Okay, fantastic. It gives me an idea how I'm going to take this workshop. Okay, no problem. Going back to my presentation again. Okay. Apart from the challenges that you just shared with me, there are certain other challenges that have been documented when it comes to research and writing in Pakistan. Unfortunately, they have little expertise and minimum funding to conduct medical research. Shortage of time on the part of physician involved in research because here we have physicians who have to see an OPD of 200 patients then they have to mentor medical student, then they have to take care of some FCPS part 2 FCPS part 2 resident, and probably they're also doing an MS and MD program. So this is the challenge that we actually face on ground. And then some people who are in the field, they have very sort of like bitter critique of the research that we do. For example, Nadia Agha says, apart from the coursework, Pakistani institutions offer no help to enhance a student's understanding of research and dissertation writing. And unfortunately, this is, as a teacher, I can say you that critical thinking skill in journal, even in medical students, are lacking in Pakistan. Dr. Khushnik says research programs at most public sector university department in Pakistan are highly dubious and purely a mockery of research. Very strong words, but if you sort of zoom out and you try to understand what he's saying, probably whatever he's saying is right. And then Dr. Fatma, editor-in-chief of JPMA, says original biomedical research that meets the international standards is scarce in Pakistan. Unfortunately, very true. And Anjum Altaf says the quality of research in Pakistan was always poor and continues to be so. Can you cite any ideas emerging from Pakistani institutions that have had global or even regional impact or recognition? And when we talk of this, mostly we are consumer information. We, the researcher, physician, healthcare professional based in Pakistan, we are consumer information. You might say, oh, no, some people have done a lot of work, but you need to understand we are a nation of 240 million people. You need to understand our global impact is not that it should be. We are not in the top 10 leader in research and writing, at least in medical healthcare sciences. So this is something that should give us some food for thought that honestly, if you're not getting this kind of help, what should we do? So I would request you, please turn toward these newly upcoming AI tools, and it's going to make your journey of research and writing pretty easy. Now I'm going to give you some specific example on how you can intelligently, ethically use AI tools to enhance your research, writing, and publication process. Number one, to brainstorm ideas. And I have been telling this thing again and again in my different workshop. Please try to understand. Because of this trend of subspecialization and supra-specialization, even physicians are totally focused on a very narrow part of human body or a very narrow aspect. Honestly speaking, you can't expect a cardiologist to know about orthopedic or an orthopedic know about dermatology or a dermatology know about psychiatry, right? If you ask a question, they cannot make those kind of connection. But in case of a large language model, they are fed on billions of tokens. Billion of token mean billions of pieces of information from every known subject in humankind. Every known subject. It includes hundreds of subspecialties of medicine and other subspecialties from computer science, agriculture science, social science. So if you intelligently ask a question to a large language model, since that LLM has access to all known knowledge in humankind, so it can create those kind of beautiful, innovative, intriguing, and excellent research question and brainstorm ideas that a single person with a single specialty can never have. So please go and explore that. Then primarily use these LLM to create outlines. Do not simply use them to create content and then copy and paste that content so that you get caught and you get embarrassed. Don't do that. Literature search, I'll talk about that. And literature mapping, it's a newly upcoming concept. At least I was never told about this concept, but this is a very good concept. It can help you not only as a researcher, it can help you as a physician and as a clinician as well, who wants to provide high quality medical services to their clients and their patients. Then obviously summarizing, we all have 24 hours in our lives, right? And we have, at least in Pakistan, we are very committed with our patient. Our OPDs are overflowing with patient. How can I read and summarize and extract information from an article? AI tools can help me do that, and it can help me speed read. So please use the intelligent use of these tools and improve your summarization and reading power. Yes, you can generate text and content as well, but again, you have to read the instruction to author. Many journals clearly tell you how much content they would allow. For example, to the best of my knowledge, one of the Pakistani journals clearly writes that we would allow around 18 or 20% of the content that has been AI generated. But beyond that, we are not going to allow this. Then language and grammar check. This thing was already available in form of Grammarly and other things. It has been integrated as an editor in Microsoft full version as well. So please make the best use of this thing and enhance the language, grammar, syntax of your work that you write. Then bibliography references, EndNote, Zotero, Mendeley, and many others. And on a single click, They can actually convert your 100 references from Chicago to Vancouver style, from Vancouver to APA style, and from MLA style, and it goes on and on. Again, another good thing is many of these tools are now integrating with each other, which means you do a literature search on one tool and then you can export the references to EndNote or Zotero. It's excellent and fantastic. Obviously, plagiarism check and journal selection. We are going to talk about this in a little bit more detail soon, inshallah. A bit of sort of like a word of caution whenever you want to use these AI tools for research and writing. Please try to understand you need to focus on the journey and not the destination. Joy is found not in finishing an activity, but in doing it. The process of doing research and writing and publication, the time it takes, the effort that you make, this is a journey. Your aim is not to like get 4, 5, 10, 20, 30 articles, then become a professor, then get some citation and get that kind of ego massage where people say, वाह जी वाह बहुत बड़ा researcher है, बड़े जबरदस्त सर है, professor साहब है. Try to think beyond that. And that's why if you only focus on getting citations and only getting a certain number of articles, so in Pakistan, if you even write 15 or maybe 20 articles and you become a professor, now what incentive do you have to do good quality research? You're already a professor. Probably that's the end of line for you. Just relax, chill, and ask people to write articles for you. No, it's a journey. Writing an article is a journey. It's a journey of innovation. It's a journey of education. It's a journey of inspiration, but only for those who focus on the journey instead of the end point of getting 1, 2, 4, 20, 30, 40 articles. And if I ask you a question, in your opinion, what are the 3 most important steps involved in process of writing? In your opinion, then I'll give you mine. Only 3 steps or 3 components. Structure, outline, literature search. Okay. Yep. Paraphrasing. Okay. Brainstorming, critical thinking. Okay. Analysis, good. You're right. It's one of the most important part, I think. Yep. Okay. So my understanding, and again, I said it's an exchange of information session. I can see things differently. You can see things differently. And probably we can agree on one thing, or we can sort of like enhance our knowledge by learning from each other. In my opinion, the process of writing involves 3 important things: reading, critical analysis, and writing. And please remember, these are the things that have made human beings the dominant species on planet Earth, where you have species who can fly better than you, species who are stronger than you, who can dive in water deeper than you without any support. But it was reading and then critical analysis of that reading, extracting information, and writing the words that come out of our mouth that we actually transcribe on a piece of paper, that we use to transcribe on a piece of wood and leather. And based on that, today we are talking about AI tools. So please try to understand these are the 3 things which define being a human being. Fortunately or unfortunately, for each of these 3 important, crucial components of what I call the process of writing and the process of defining humanity, reading, analysis, and writing, you have AI tools. So you simply rely on AI tool to do all these things: reading, summarizing, extracting information, and even writing. You are delegating everything to that AI tool. You are removing that human oversight, which is absolutely essential. Please don't do that. I'm not saying you should not integrate AI tools. I'm simply saying do not lose the thing that defines you as a human being, and that is reading, critical analysis, and the writing part. So again, before I start with give you actual example, how do we communicate with these AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, or a large language model? How do we communicate with them? In which language? How do we communicate? What is that thing called? Prompts. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rizwan. Yes, thank you very much. So one of the reasons that, people, researcher, physician are unable to make the best use of these LLM is, unfortunately, they don't know how to create good prompts. Prompt is the language in which we give a command to that LLM. It could be a ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, anything. And then it creates an answer. If the prompt or that question is good, the answer is going to be high quality. If the prompt is of low quality, the answer is not going to be high quality. And these LLM are so strong, you can simply give them a simple prompt like, write me an essay on pain management in osteoarthritis of the knee. It's going to create a 1,000 word output on that. But that is not going to be something that is unique, that is different from others, and that you can quote or cite or use with confidence. So you have to improve the quality of your prompts. Again, it's a whole session which I usually do, but a simple a framework that I'm going to describe for you to make your life easier, that whenever you want to write a good prompt, please write clearly and give specific instruction. So there's a possibility you are a teacher, there's a possibility you are a physician, and you are asking it question for a very specific task. So please give clear and specific instruction. Add as many details as you can. There's no bar on adding like 15 sentences of detail, because the more context you give to that LLM, the better output is going to generate. And if you have an example and template, for example, people often ask me, I want to create good MCQ. You should be giving them those good MCQs that you created in the last 1 year as a template. And only then it's going to create almost similar MCQs as you want it to create. But if you don't give it an example, it's probably going to create crap for you. Then obviously it's the interaction. You like it, give positive feedback. You don't like the output, give a negative feedback or ask that LLM to improve the outcome as per your needs. So please interact with that LLM as if you are talking to a person in front of you. And what we call iterations. Do not focus on the single output that the LLM gives you. Always try to create another version, another version. There's a possibility you might find the perfect output on second or third iteration. So please do that. And this is a prompt framework. First of all, you have to give it a role or persona. For example, you might, if you are a teacher, you might want to say that act like a teacher in biochemistry, teaching biochemistry in a medical college in Pakistan. That's a persona. Then you might want to give it a background or experience, because experience and background matters. You cannot compare a teacher with 1 year experience with a teacher with 20 years experience. So simply write, you are a biochemistry teacher with 20 years experience of teaching undergraduate, first year and second year medical students in a Pakistani medical college. Then you clearly give that the task. What you want to do, summarize this information, create some MCQs, create a template, or maybe table of specification, or maybe some quiz, or whatever you want to do. And then you specify output. Should it be in form of bullets? Should it be form of text? Should it be form of a table? You simply tell and see the magic happening. But you have to tell that LLM how to create that output. And obviously, tone. So since I'm assuming most of the participants are healthcare professionals, and we should be using the word like, keep the tone professional, academic, neutral, or maybe if you want to convince something, make it convincing. So these kind of iteration can actually enhance your research productivity to a larger extent, because now you are talking to the LLM in a language that the LLM understands. Now coming to the the actual that what are the tools available out there that can actually enhance the process of research and writing, starting from brainstorming. So you can use ChatGPT, you can use any of that LLM, but if you want to use a very specific tool specifically for generating research question, it is ResearchGig by Mushtaq Bilal. I support this because of a couple of reasons. Because it is specifically meant for generating research question. The process is very good. I mean, for people based in Pakistan, it would probably cost you $9 for 10,000 token, but that's good enough for at least one or two research topics. But Mushtaq Bilal is a Pakistani working in humanities, and he's probably based in Denmark. The guy has shaken up the AI world on LinkedIn. His workshop on AI, I mean, they're very popular. If you can afford, I would strongly recommend, go and support one of your Pakistani colleagues who's making a name for himself and for the country in the realm of AI tools. So Kickstart is one of the very good tools for generating research questions, but you can use LLM and other tools as well. All of us are very familiar with Medline or PubMed. That's fantastic, that's excellent, but we need to know also about Semantic Scholar. And Semantic Scholar, as the word says, and Semantic Scholar was there even before this ChatGPT was launched. I clearly remember that I started using Semantic Scholar before even COVID-19 came in 2019. Semantic Scholar is by Allen Institute. It's the world's first purely AI integrated platform that gives you literature search. Again, can't go in detail, can't give you a demo, but please go online, make a free account on Semantic Scholar and see the magic happening. Then again, if you're a physician or a researcher who simply wants to know a question to a clinical, an answer to a clinical question, you might want to explore this consensus. Evidence hunt is similar to consensus, and this is the beauty about these tools. There's no one perfect tool for a task. Please understand that. So I often get this email and query, tell me the best tool. So I'm sorry, there's no best tool, right? Because every tool performs one function better than the other. It's a good strategy to mix and match the functionalities of different tools in order to get the answer you're looking for. So evidence hunt is also an excellent tool for literature search. And then Cite performs two things, literature mapping and literature search as well. And again, as you can go in detail, you can specify the sources, you can specify the setting, and if you can see the table mode, it will create tables for you for comparison of the output. So again, one tool will offer you one functionality, the other tool is going to offer you another functionality. Go and mix and match all these in order to get the best possible output from these LLM. I got introduced to Undermine a couple of days back by Razia Aliani. Again, she's a background of nursing, and now she's based in the USA. She works with Covidence, and again, a Pakistani researcher. Again, doing a great job in AI on LinkedIn and Twitter. You need to follow her. And this again, if you can see, Undermined is again not a free tool, but it's got a freemium version. And if you go and you see the way it works, it takes you on a structured literature search journey by asking you questions, and then you can engage in a sort of conversational tone, and it is going to improve your literature search till the time you will get what you're looking for. Undermined. Literature mapping is another concept. It's a way of discovering scholarly article by exploring connections between publication. Connections. So once we used to do literature search, we only used to go to Medline, and whatever article we used to get, हम वो article quote cite कर लिया करते थे. But just because an article is being cited 50 times does not mean that article is very much related to the research that we are doing. There's a possibility it is not related. So you need to connect the dots. You need to say how much it is connected to the research that you're actually doing. And for that, again, we have Cite, we have Research Rabbit. The good thing about Research Rabbit, it is free of cost. Both Cite and other literature mapping tools, they have a freemium version. And for the premium, you have to pay a certain amount of US dollars. And as you can see, you start from a single seed paper, and then you can add more paper. It's going to connect those paper and show you the connection, whether it is a strong connection or not. Again, it's something that has more to do with a hand-on demonstration, which I can't do because of paucity of time. So maybe next time. Then again, connected paper also works on the same principle of literature mapping, and it's also a good tool to do literature mapping if you want to do that. Data analysis, again, usually we go for Python, R, and SPSS. But if your data set is huge, large, and complex, multi-center, you might want to explore Julius. The only issue with Julius is that Julius is a paid, and you have to have a little bit of financial support if you want to start using Julius. Then I talked about speed reading. Busy physician, busy researchers in Pakistan have to do a million things at one time. So they don't get enough time to read article, not to do research, only to improve their own knowledge in order to remain updated with where the world is moving. What are the new guidelines? What are the new tools? And what are the new finding in a particular area? So I love Humata, again, because of the reason its free version allows you a lot of functionalities, probably around 60 papers and probably around 10,000 words, which is good enough for anyone. I mean, 60 pages, I mean, no one can read 60 pages in a day, right? So, I mean, it can summarize those 60 pages for you in a different format, and the extraction is excellent. And the most important thing is, whenever it summarizes or extract any piece of information from a PDF file, it's going to give you a clear reference from where it has taken that particular piece of information. So you can be very sure that this tool is not hallucinating. It is not making up things, and it gives you exactly the area from which it has extracted that piece of information. Humata, a good one. Then this is also a good one, chatpdf.com. But again, if you ask me personally, I would rather go for Humata. C-HPE is again shaking up the AI world in the last couple of months. And again, it's a great tool. C-HPE offers many functionalities. As you can see on the screen, you can do a literature search. You can do a chat with the PDF. You can extract data in form of a table, and you can also use it for paraphrasing. And recently it was updated, and now it also allows you co-pilot when you can write something. It allows you citation generation from one kind of citation to another one. It also allows you paraphrasing, and it also has an integrated AI detector. The only issue is all these features are available only to the subscribers. Notebook LM by Google was launched a couple of months, probably, or weeks ago. Again, a fantastic tool, especially for people who are into medical education. And the good thing is it allows you to convert PDF files, your own article or any article, into really high quality podcast. And you can on the go listen to your articles or any piece of information. It helps you create study guides. It helps you create question and answers. Again, the best thing is it's all free. So please go give it a try to Notebook LM by Google. And then if you want to go for writing, the writing part, again, there are many, Quillbot and others, but Hemingway as well. But again, I like Jenny the best because again, it's an AI-based tool. But I'm not saying that you should use Jenny to simply generate content and then copy and paste. Never, ever do that. If you do that, you're going to get caught, get embarrassed, and probably going to face a lot of trouble. But Jenny, for people especially who have this kind of thought block, writer's block, who are short on time, who have ideas, but they simply want, how should we go about that? Probably they might want to use Jenny to enhance their writing output. I got introduced to this APPNA a couple of days ago. I'm still exploring this tool. Now, this tool is specifically for creating research protocols. So many of you who want to create a research protocol and then do research, so probably this is a very good tool. Again, the problem is it's available only as a subscribed model because the free version would not allow you much functionalities. Sorry, just give me a second. So you might want to explore APPNA. The good thing is if you're working on a topic or you're working on a project and you think that you're going to finish that project within the next 6 months, probably it's a good idea to get that subscription for 2 months. Make the best use of this AI tool, download the output, and then start working offline. So please explore that as well. Again, Visio offers you multiple functionalities, including writing, and you might want to explore this as well. This research pal is again a pretty cool tool because this allows you again many functionalities. For example, let me show you. Yeah. So as you can see, you can do literature review, you can correct your referencing, you can search papers and get insights from the paper from a single tool, that is Research Pal. So you might want to explore this as well. Then many of you might be very familiar with PaperPal. It is further, this is by Editage, and they offer you multiple services, Editage, R Discovery, and PaperPal. And one of the good free tools that are integrated in PaperPal are that you can upload your manuscript before submitting the article to a journal, and it would evaluate this whole thing for free. Whether your language is okay, grammar is fine, mechanic in style, the readability, the abstract length, the manuscript length, the author contribution statement. So there are so many things that usually we tend to forget. But this AI-based tool can scan your manuscript and tell you where you are lacking certain things so that you can address them. And obviously, your chances of publication in a good journal will be enhanced. Last but not the least is the use of online journal selection tools. And those of you who are youngsters, honestly speaking, you can't even imagine the misery that we faced even a decade ago or maybe 15, 20 years ago when there was no YouTube, no Google, no online access like this. And we had to sort of request people to give us a recommendation for good journals. These journals were not available online. Either we had to email them, write them a letter, or maybe to contact them by phone. But now you can actually go online without even leaving your study table. And within minutes, you're going to get very good, high quality recommendation for your journal, for your research article. There are many tools out there. Now there are specific tool by Elsevier, Springer, like very InterScience. The only problem with these publisher specific tools is that they're only going to recommend you journals from their own portfolio. So Elsevier is not going to recommend you journals from Springerlink, and they're not going to recommend it from Willy InterScience. But this Cleverate is the organization that gives impact factor to journal. So Cleverate Manuscript Matcher is an excellent service available online. You either put in your title or the abstract, and it's going to mix and match for you. And then you can sort of like apply filters. I only want journals which are indexed in Web of Science. I only want journals which are open access, their categories, country, region, language, stuff like that. It makes your life easier. So there's absolutely no harm and no ethical dilemma in integrating these AI tools in the process of research and writing. But do it transparently, do it ethically, and do it in a manner that does not violate any guidelines, right? And then my personal favorite is Jane, journal author name estimator. Again, you can put in your title, your abstract, or your keywords, and it's going to mix and match and give you a list of different journals which are a close match to your research. And then you can go online to the web link of those journals, and you can explore the instruction to author in further details. Before I end my presentation, we need to understand that many people are still hooked on ChatGPT, which is fantastic, excellent, one of the first one and the largest LLM. But you need to understand there are really good alternative to ChatGPT that you must explore. One is Gemini by Google, and it is advancing at a very fast pace. Then Microsoft Copilot, again, fantastic, available free of cost, and for $20 you can get a subscription as well. Then Claude by Anthropic and its latest model Sonnet 3.5 is also excellent and fantastic. And every of these tools offer you a different kind of functionality that the other tool does not offer you. It's a corporate market out there. They want more and more clients, subscribers, and users. So not everyone is going to offer you everything. Let it be very, very clear. You are the one who are the end user. And if anything is available free of cost, you might want to explore all of them in order to get the best out of everything. And then Mistral is from France. And again, it's also a very large model. Then even this Grok from X, the X Twitter guy, it's also a good one. If you are confused that which one should I use, I would recommend that you go on u.com or poe.com, and there are other as well. And the good thing about these platform is that they actually give you access to all of these at one place. So for simply $20 for 1 month, you can explore all these 5 or 6 different kind of large language model, and then you can decide which is the large language model that fits your needs very well. And then you might want to become an expert of that and use it again and again and again. U.com. And the last is, if you're confused and if you want to know, is there any other tool available that can cater to my needs apart from the tool that I'm listening to or exploring, then there's a very good website known as thereisanaIforthat.com. So you go on this website, you make a free account, and if you click on the name of any, for example, you click on the name of ChatGPT, it's going to give you alternatives to ChatGPT. If you give it like Humata, it's going to give you alternatives to Humata as well. And it's also going to give you the pricing and also the ranking and also the user reviews as well. So again, one-stop shop for many of your needs. The summary of my presentation is that please use these AI tools as a research assistant and helper and not your teacher or your supervisor. Please do not rely on the AI-generated content. It might hallucinate, and you will be held responsible for any wrong information that you use. Always be transparent about the use of AI in research and writing, and be ethical. And at the same time, be proactive and learn the use of AI tools. Change is inevitable, growth is optional. These tools are here to stay, just like electricity, just like internet, and just like smartphone. There is no rolling back of these tools. Let it be very, very clear. They are now part and parcel of your lives. So use them smartly in order to enhance yourself. And the use of AI is a skill. And you can't learn skills by simply listening to my lecture or my talk. You have to explore the things that I just shared with you. And then you go online and then you do it again and again till the time you become an expert of them. The take home message is, illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. And this is the most true when it comes to the use of AI tools. And I'm specifically talking to people in my generation and maybe those who are a couple of years senior to me, because we were in a comfort zone. We have spent 20, 30, 40 years in a particular field. We know how things work. And all of a sudden, this thing has been shaken up by these AI tools. I'm sorry, if you want to remain relevant, if you want to remain in the game, you have to unlearn what you learned. And then you have to relearn the use of AI tool. And for my youngsters, you might be taught in a very different way, but AI is rapidly changing the way we interact with the world and with professional lives. Please learn and then relearn. And obviously, AI won't replace human beings. There's no AI Armageddon coming on. There's no Terminator. Let me be very clear, right? But humans with AI skills will definitely replace human without AI skills because of their enhanced productivity, because of their better understanding of the process of research, and because of the quality of the work that they're going to produce in the next few years. And the most important thing for my youngsters, it does not matter how many resources you have. If you don't know how to use them, it will never be enough. We are living in a world which is hyper connected. 20 years ago, when I was a resident, we had a lack of information. You guys have an information overload, and combine that with the ability to waste hours and hours on, I'm sorry, idiotic and stupid social media like your WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube Reels. Don't do that. Life is competitive. Everyone has 24 hours in life. No one cares for you. Let it be very, very clear. I'm not sure whatever people give you motivational lectures. In this competitive world, you are the only one who is going to care for him or herself. So if you waste that time on social media and then you cry in front of anyone that I don't have any resource, I'm really sorry, you are a miserable person, because you have millions of free resources, high quality resources available on a single click, but you chose to waste that time on social media, on Netflix, stuff like that. Don't do that. Life is limited, and you have to do a lot of things. So before I stop, I would request please to give me, I'm going to share this the feedback link as well. And then I'm going to do a workshop tomorrow. If someone can join, you're more than welcome. We have still 5, 6 seats left. And this is my email, my LinkedIn profile, and my research gate. If you have any question, feel free to shoot me an email. So I thank you all, and I'm going to share the links in the chat. So if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. FAROOQ Rathore. I think this was perhaps one of the best sessions that we had, and I can see that the chat and the Q&A is lighting up, and there's so many participants, there's so much interest. Just for everybody's information, that these videos are recorded and they will be available on our YouTube channel. I will invite our panelists to just share a few words, and then maybe we can get some questions. So Dr. Uzair, I will start with you, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Safran. Dr. FAROOQ, thanks a million. I mean, this is something which is a wealth of information, and there is an overwhelming response from the participants. So I take this liberty to make a collective request to you for your next session, which I had already requested to you maybe in December. So we are so proud of you in Pakistan. We have a people who are at the forefront of technology, which is really amazing and mind-boggling, and the participation from the participant that shows their interest and very deep interest. So maybe I can give the chance to Dr. Jabin, because he was showing a lot of interest among the panelists, to ask few questions, to elaborate whatever we have discussed. Over to you, Dr. Jabin. Unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, FAROOQ. I joined in the middle, and still it's very informative and insightful for me. And I echo what you said, garbage in, garbage out. So we need to be very aware, cognizant, how and where and why we are using all these AI tools. And I know there's a boom of technology and everybody is fascinated, but we need to be very careful and need to be aware that what are the limitations. Knowing your limitation is the first concept that in emergency medicine we learn, and that's what is applicable, and that's what I want to reiterate and reaffirm from your talk. I just want to ask, like it is like we are in simulation, we are now using a lot of AI tools, and a lot of what you describe we are starting to explore and using in different ways. The one question or one thought that always come in, which I really want you to comment on, it's about that a lot of data that is coming from the Western world. There's limitation of data which is coming from the developed world or from other languages other than English, etc. So what are some of your suggestion that how can we bridge that gap And is there anything that we need to be aware and careful when we are using these tools for our educational purposes or for research purposes?
Thank you, Dr. Jabin. It's an excellent question, and I often get this question that some people say the AI output is biased toward like a developed world. So my answer is actually whenever you face this question, you have to do some introspection, and you need to understand what is the basis. So I just told you these LLM are fed on billions of tokens. Token means piece of information. And we know right now more than 90% of the world's scientific literature and specifically biomedical literature comes from the West or the developed world. And that actually should give people like us based in Pakistan an opportunity and incentive that this should be one of the reasons that we should be writing more. You can't blame an LLM or the trainer if they don't get enough data or enough perspective from Pakistan, because Pakistanis are not interested in writing good articles, and the seniors are not interested in writing high quality articles in high quality journals because they are done with their 20 articles and now they're professors, right? And now they have so many other things to do. So I say you can't blame it. You cannot overcome this bias till the time you dilute this pool by putting in your data. And by data, I do not mean you have to always do some kind of original research using statistics and stuff like that. Almost all of international biomedical journals, I specifically mentioned JAMA, BMJ, and Lancet, the leading three journals in the world, they allow you to write perspectives. They allow you to write other things apart from research article. But if you keep on feeding them perspective from Pakistan, hopefully some LLM is going to sort of like catch up on that, and that's going to be fed to that LLM, and hopefully we're going to overcome that bias. That's the long-term solution that I personally feel. The other could be, instead of simply asking that LLM, again, obviously, it's not like that you don't get anything from Pakistan or Africa or developed world. You have certain articles. So instead of simply asking a question to an LLM, why don't you upload those PDF and start critically thinking in a dialogue with that LLM so that it gives you a different perspective that has been published. And that could become a sort of source for you to get inspired to do something different. So these are the two solutions that I think. One is to put in more data, write more, and share more. And second is to interact with the already published data in a form that leads to critical thinking instead of simply relying on the output of that AI. So I think that is going to help us in some regard.
Thank you, Dr. FAROOQ. That's very helpful.
Thank you. Now it's over to Professor Dr. Akhtar Ali. I think you have a great appetite for new technologies and you have been always looking for this type of talk. So can you comment really?
Yeah, thank you. It was a very good presentation in terms of a lot of information. As you have said, there are information around which we have to bring it into our knowledge, and then knowledge has to implement into some research. Now, you being in Pakistan, and I learned and heard that it's good to be a proud Pakistani. If you look at our landscape of journals in Pakistan, and the way they easily get registered, like from, I think their categories are WYX or XWY. In these categories, we start with the initially with the with one program to another program. How do you see that the government or the bodies who is registering these journals can improve? Because you already mentioned, and we know that we haven't able to impact the world from our research, right? Although we have great researchers in silos, but overall we have not produced enough intellectuals in a way that the research is impacting the other part of the world.
Again, I personally feel, there are certain things that individuals can do, and then there are certain system errors that honestly you can try to impact, but you can't like correct the whole system. So again, and as they say, the fish rots from the head. I'm sorry, but again, this is what happens in our part of the world. So if you don't have a person with a vision at the top of the affairs, even if you have researchers working downstream, probably they're not going to make an impact. So the first thing is probably, again, I apologize in advance for any disrespect that I may sound, but I'm also part of the same ecosystem. That probably the first thing is we need to have people with vision at the helm of the affairs. Because if that person understands the value of publishing in a higher ranking journal and the actual value of competing in the world, probably only then they are going to sort of like facilitate the research ecosystem. Because at present, most of the people are concerned that this research ecosystem, which is being supported by HEC Pakistan, CPSP, and PMDC, only focuses on the number game. And number means you can actually publish low quality article in low quality journal, and that actually gives you that kind of clout, and then you don't have any inspiration to go on a higher level. So probably the first thing that we need to do is we have to have people with vision at the helm of the affair. And then probably people like you, APPNA, because you guys are working in a position where you can probably approach them, you can at least guide them, you can at least ask them and give them, where the world is moving. So maybe a little bit of an email correspondence or maybe giving them ideas might change someone's perspective, because there are certain things you individuals can do and it will have a very limited impact. But if that comes from, let's say, HEC, PMDC, CPSP, I'm pretty sure the impact is going to be large and people are going to understand the value of really good research and how it actually impacts the world and makes a name for Pakistan.
Very good.
Thank you.
Professor Sarwat Hussain, so just a few words from your side. Please unmute yourself.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Amazing talk, really. I think I feel that I have learned material that in last 45 minutes, what I would have learned about 6 months of reading and self-research. Amazing, really, really good. And the only thing, one question I would have is that the subscription of the various sites that Professor has described. Obviously, the money is an issue, especially for researchers and particularly for the younger people. It would be good if a short list of most impactful sites with their prices can be put as a slide along with this talk, so that youngsters who want to start their research can collect the money and take the biggest bang out of their buck. But amazing. And I look forward to a second talk by the professor. Amazing. Very nice.
Very much.
So, in Pakistan, when we have anything, one thing is free, then we always look for the second thing. So, let me do this question for more knowledge. And to Dr. FAROOQ, now it is over to Dr. Sarfraz Hasni, because we are a little over time. Yeah, please.
I know. So again, I'd like to thank you, Dr. FAROOQ, for a very insightful lecture. And I can certainly see from the number of participants and the interest that it has generated. So thank you so much for taking time out of your valuable, your busy schedule, your valuable time, and then sharing with these resources, which definitely I'll echo what Dr. Sarwat was just saying, that we learned a lot from you. So thank you, and we look forward to hearing from you again. And for all the participants, thank you for joining, and our panelists, thank you so much. And Waleed and your team, thank you for your technical support in the background. So inshallah, we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you once again.